guys. Starting a little bit later than usual. Figured less people would be in school. Less people would be busy. It's not so early in the morning this time. Hello. Feels good to start a little bit of a later one today. And I'm much more awake this time. So this should go well. Hello, welcome to the stream. I just downed a half a bag of Doritos because I haven't had a dinner. So that was my dinner, and now I'm ready to do things. And I have a really big thing of aloe vera juice that everyone made fun of me for yesterday. And I did not finish it since then, so I'm finishing it today. Rainy Weather Fox, thank you for subscribing. Peachy Maddie, thank you. I keep forgetting to update that for every single day, but we're just going to pretend that's the same day consecutively. Cassio, thank you for subscribing. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I am thinking, I just happened to find this post that was posted June of this year, so a little bit old, but not quite too old. Prince LPJ, thank you for subscribing. Lesbian Lux, bring it in for a hug. There's an article called The Most Outrageous Stories on Reddit's Am I the Asshole? And we've read a lot of Am I the Assholes, and I kind of wanted to read a few of these, see how absolutely outrageous they are, and then maybe we'll go and play on Empires, though I'm not 100% sure. My whole day tomorrow, or not my whole day, but tomorrow I'm gonna work on my episode to upload, and I have a lot to work with, and a lot of off-stream stuff that I'm doing, but I don't know if I'm ready to finish the build tonight, but if we go on, we'll work on it. It does still only just need the hat part and like some of the walls, and then it's obviously not decorated. But Little Ghost Spooky, thank you for the prime. Sajay, Sagay, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Are you doing any more Dreamlight Valley videos on YouTube? I'm not sure if any more will go on YouTube. Obviously, the first one was a sponsored video, and I absolutely plan to continue playing the game on stream. But I don't know if I want to make a series out of it on YouTube. I'm not really well, I shouldn't say I'm not a series uploader. I upload Minecraft series all the time. I don't have much of an audience for non-Minecraft games on YouTube, but I really wanted to share the game, but I don't know if I'm going to be continuing a YouTube upload series of it. I'm thinking about it. I might go for it, but I'm not sure. Sounds like you're procrastinating the build to me. I also just wanted to read and sit and vibe with your favorite, most unproblematic streamer all time. Let's just read some Am I the Assholes and judge people. And then maybe do a little bit of building. Either way, I have to do it tomorrow, but... Well, I don't have to, but I probably will. Have you met Joey's new kittens? No. I heard about when they were born, and I was still in the country, but I couldn't meet them because they were too little. And now I'm here, obviously, so there's no way for me to meet the kittens if I'm here. Pastel Batman, thank you for the prime. I'm definitely not Gavin. Thank you for the $1. Hello. We're talking about your Halloween costume idea because it's so cool. Well, I'm between two. I'm between two that are pretty good ones, both. I'm between Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, which I have done. And I only did very briefly. I only posted one photo of it, and it was only for one Halloween party that I was actually even dressed wrong for. Which was a bummer, because I had a different costume for that Halloween party. It was a villain party, and my costume was going to be Azula. That was last year, and it did not come in time. And I didn't have an alternative villain costume, so I just whipped out my Howl jacket that I have had for a very long time. But I'm thinking about doing Howl again. Also, I have the Azula costume now. But I refused to do a wig or some sort for my costume. My hair at the time last year was so perfect for Azula, and now is no longer good for it. But I have the costume. And do I need to have her hair to wear the costume? No. But do I want to have hair that matches the costume I choose? Yes. Ari the Ginger Witch, thank you for the prime. But I'm between Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, again, but like a better version than last time. Last time I also had dark hair, so I was dark hair Howl version. But this time I could be gender bent blonde hair. I've done Howl so many times because I also did it a time before that when I was blonde. Actually, no, I was brunette the other time I did it, but nobody saw me do that one. That one was for the Magic Castle and no one saw it, so that's okay. That doesn't count. So I've only done it once, as far as people know. Or Winry Rockbell, which was such a good idea because I love her as a character. My favorite anime of all time. Her character is impeccable and flawless, and I have the perfect hair for that one, other than, you know, the roots growing in, which are a bit long now, but not much I can do about that. You can also tell that this side's blended a little better than this side, but it's just growth. But I'm thinking about Winry Rockbell. However, I will be in England for Halloween. It will be so cold, and she wears a tiny little tube top. Can I make it a long sleeve version? Yeah, but would I if it isn't accurate? No. I want it to be accurate. But I don't know if I'm willing to freeze my butt off for it. The Howl's Moving Castle costume comes with a big jacket. Comes with a big, nice, comfy jacket. Long sleeve, puffy white shirt. And I'd actually probably do it with shorts and tights again like I did last time and not pants. But Winry Rockbell just also sounds like a fun idea. I don't know if I'll have any Halloween parties as a possibility before I come to England for Halloween. So, like, maybe I can get away with a double costume situation. This side of my hair did not want to cooperate. You'll notice the weird bend in it, and I'm trying to make it not be like that, but it isn't wanting to cooperate, unfortunately. Couple costume with Scott. I did try to ask him what he's thinking of doing for Halloween, but he has no idea. Also, no. I think I'm already so torn on my only two options, and I'm so limited because I want to do one that would look really, really good with long blonde hair while I have it. And if there isn't a good couple one, I will not sacrifice my costume to do a couple one. I will be doing her and Scott dating. We would make such a cute couple. However, there is one problem with that. And if you don't know, I'm not sure how, but I'm going to let you live in ignorance. I'm going to let you believe that that's something that could... I'll let it go. I'll let you be. Oh boy. That's so funny. Nobody tell them. My things are itchy today. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna start today's stream with reading a few Am I the Assholes? I'm honestly, realistically probably gonna do Howl's Moving Castle because I don't have a whole lot of time before Halloween to even have pieces arrive for a different costume, and I already have everything I would need. Obviously, yeah, I would do Winry for LA if there happens to be a Halloween party before, like, the 27th, which is when I'll be leaving to come here. And if I don't have the possibility, then no Winry this year, but maybe next year if I'm still long hair blonde. But who knows? That's a year away. I could be a whole different person. But probably more likely to do Howl here in England, and also just I already have everything I need. I do want to get a different shirt for his. I want to get like an actual puffy sleeve shirt. But that's only one piece I would need to get, whereas Winry's would be in the entire thing. But his jacket will be so nice to have. Lolly Molly, thank you for subscribing. Everyone Hates Disco, thank you for the $1.25. Thank you, thank you. I cannot read your message. I'm really sorry. Thank you for the $1.25. Does Star ever get to dress up? I did do a video many years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, putting Halloween costumes on her. Is it her favorite thing? No. No, it is not. But I did do a video, and that will be the only time you'll see her in costumes. Unless I happen to get a Batwing set. Although she won't be here for Halloween anyway. Like, she won't be with me for Halloween to have any excuse to put costumes on her. Also, she's just too big of a cat, and it isn't fair. They just don't have sizes for her in costumes. And don't get me wrong, it isn't even because she's overweight, because she isn't. She's just a large cat, and they don't make things for large breed cats. They'll call it large. They'll even sometimes call it extra large. And then they'll receive the items that are claimed to be extra large. And they actually just mean full-grown adult, but not the large kind of adult. because when they say small and extra small, they mean kitten and not just small cat. And then they don't make things for large breed cats. So nothing I ever get for her works. Give her a little hat. She hates the hat ones. She's okay with the ones that go around her arms, but those are the ones that don't fit because her width is too big. I'm offended for her. It's just because she's a large breed. They just don't make costumes for... What are Maine Coons out here doing? Because they can't fit in any of the stuff they offer as extra large. Yeah, right. We need large breed cats. Medium dog costume, literally, actually, not a bad idea. That's how we might be able to put her in. I didn't even consider that. And her harness for going on walks is a dog one because she couldn't fit in the other ones. I have Maine Coon mixes and I use dog clothes. Okay. I was like, what are other cat owners out here doing for their large breed cats? Because they don't make things for them. They just don't make things that size. They call it extra large and they just mean like a medium-sized adult cat. And then small actually means kitten instead of kitten. But I get it. They are extra small. Kittens are just extra small cats. Would she do a Halloween harness? Maybe. If I can find one in her size for only a photo. She doesn't even particularly like her walking harness. We haven't even gone on any walks. She's just worn it occasionally. Marnie from Ghibli? Who's Marnie? I don't know which movie you're referring to. Ghibli is a very wide range of movies, and I don't know where Marnie comes from. But honestly, I don't even want too many more ideas because I'm already torn between two, and one of them I have all of the pieces for, and I just really think that that's settled. At that point, I also find Build-A-Bear clothes fit sometimes. Those seem like they are too small. I don't know of a Build-A-Bear that has the width that my cat has. I don't think that'll work for her. But genuinely though, which movie is a Marnie from for Ghibli? I'd never heard of a Marnie in a Ghibli movie before. When Marnie was there, oh, I never saw it. I won't be able to do one. I can't do that one. I never saw it. I'm gonna do Howl. I'm really, truly just gonna do Howl if I'm honest. That's just probably what's gonna happen. I'm thinking of going as Coraline. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I support that decision so much. But let's get into reading Am I the Assholes? Because let's get started on determining if people are assholes, because this is so much fun. It's always just so fun. And this is specifically a post that compiled all of the most outrageous ones, supposedly. We'll be the judge of that. We'll go through them. We'll see how outrageous they truly, really even are. I might just... Somebody did suggest Edward Elric for me, but that also would involve way too many pieces that I don't have, as well as a whole arm piece that I would insist on doing, and I wouldn't be able to get in time, just at all. So I wouldn't do it otherwise. Ace, please. Thank you for subscribing. Galaxy, thank you. Sweet Tay, thank you for subbing. I just wear gloves. Yeah, but I would insist only on doing it if I did a full arm. Same for... What's the really pretty anime with the blonde woman who also has 2 automail arms? 2? 1? I think both her arms are automail. Does anyone know what anime I'm talking about? The pretty one. Everyone's hot in it. Violet Evergarden. Somebody suggested that, and also that sounded like a really awesome, dope idea, but there's too many pieces that I would not be able to get in time. I don't have the time. Which is funny, because it's end of September. A month away. However, I'm traveling mid-October and then end of October, so... And I'm here right now, so there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for me to have things arrive and just be available in time. But if I did Violet Evergarden, I would insist on 2 automail arms, and I'm definitely not even going to be getting 1. Okay, moving on. This to start off the entire post of the most outrageous Am I the Assholes ever, supposedly. This one's called The Wedding Singer. And I probably will have never heard of any of these, but this is just what they say are the most outrageous. I just got married last week. My wife and I are both in our 30s. I am Mexican and she is American, but we both grew up in the US and both our families know both languages. My wife planned every bit of the wedding and was very controlling and nervous bride, but alright, I get that she was stressed. During the reception, I went to the band and asked them to play a song for me to sing to my new wife. It was Te Amare by Miguel Bosé. I don't know if I said those right. It was the song from our first date in a really bad Mexican restaurant, so it became a long-standing joke between us. The guests really loved the song. My mother-in-law cried and told me it was beautiful, but my bride seemed upset. I asked her what was wrong, and she said, I'm an asshole for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Am I the asshole? No. What? 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 No. I don't even understand how just singing the song instead of letting the band do it has anything to do with forcing ethnicity at all. It's just singing the song instead. You want to call him an attention seeker. You're not valid for that either, but it makes like only a little bit more sense. But the other thing, not even a little bit at all. Even if she only said just taking the spotlight on her special day or something like that, that also wouldn't be okay. He's not an asshole still. What? I mean, yeah, I guess that's outrageous to think. That's not a good start to a marriage. That's really not a great place to be on the absolute day of your wedding. Oh no. Uh-oh. It's also his special day. That's what I would have said if that was even what they were saying. And it isn't. They're saying he took the spotlight to enforce his ethnicity. But I don't see how that's even... No. Also, he can have the spotlight for like just a second. It is his special day. Let him sing. Let the man sing you a song. That's a bad start to a marriage. You're not the asshole. And I guess that's ridiculous, but that's the end of that story. So that was really a quick and easy one to determine. Sounds like she just misunderstood the meaning of it. I mean, it sounds like she shouldn't have, because it was a specific song that they both, you know, it was a inside joke between the two of them. And he sang it for her. And it's like a long-standing joke. I don't know. Obviously not. That's not even... It's not even worth debating or speaking on anymore. On to the next one. So my 28 female husband, 31 male, had to spend 2 months in a different state for work. He came back 9 days ago, and I'm obviously thrilled he's back, and I've missed him a lot. I was hoping we would be able to spend some time together, just the two of us. However, his mom, 56 female, came over when he was supposed to come home. I was slightly annoyed, but I know she was just excited for her son to be back. However, she never left. Oh no. Oh, mother-in-laws are always not a good, like, I was prepared to deal with her being there for a day or two, but not 9 days. Because she's been here for 9 days and we haven't had a second of time together. She insists on staying here instead of a hotel. For the record, she lives an hour away. Who in their right mind would even ever consider a hotel instead of an hour drive? What? I'll just stay here. I don't want to pay for a hotel. Why would you even ever do that at all anyway? Why would you do that? The guest room is right next to ours and the walls are thin. When the two of us go out, she comes with us or makes one of us stay with her because otherwise we would be bad hosts. Bad guest, talk about. She follows us around the house constantly. We want to cuddle and watch movies. She's sitting in the armchair. We want to go on a go to a romantic restaurant. Better make that a table for 3. We have even left her in the living room to go chat in our room, and she follows us. Did she mention how long her stay plans to be? Also, what? She lives an hour away? You'd never stay over, maybe one overnight, but that's an hour away. You don't need to plan an extended trip to celebrate your son being home when you only live an hour away. You could be just coming over. Like, genuinely, you could be there every day still, but why are you sleeping there? That doesn't make sense. Also, bad guest is somebody who invites themselves into your house and then doesn't leave and doesn't tell you. And also, how long does she plan on staying? Because it's such a long drive home whenever her trip is up that she has to drive an hour away to go home. And then probably will just show up the next day because she probably shows up all the time already. She's only an hour away. What? Earlier today, I just asked her to leave. Oh, even though both of us have been hinting that she needs to go, she kept saying she wasn't ready to go yet and wanted more time with her son. You live an hour away. I tried telling her we wanted some alone time and she kept insisting that she join us. You can't... Oh my God. at least let them go get a dinner. Have one dinner. You're sleeping in their house and you live an hour away. Finally, I snapped and said, since you seem to be oblivious, I will put this bluntly. I want to F your son. If you don't want to see or hear that, then you need to leave. We finally got to have our alone time. She keeps telling my husband that he shouldn't be with someone so crude, and how dare he let me speak to her like that. I'm sure you get the idea. I know that what I said was really inappropriate, but am I the asshole? Edit, after reading these comments, I will definitely let my husband know he needs to step up. Ooh, comments are probably saying the husband needed to say something more to his own mother because it's his mother. It shouldn't have gotten to the point of her needing to say something like that, and it's not her fault she said something so, what'd they say, crude? Maybe be less rude yourself, and people won't need to be that way to you. I love him to death and want to be accommodating to his fear of making her angry. She's nasty when she's angry and will turn his whole family against him. However, he needs to set boundaries. Yeah, he needs to do a little bit more. I didn't even think about how he wasn't really present in this story at all in terms of confronting it's his mother, not hers. And he should have been the one to finally put his foot down, probably to get her out of the house. But he's afraid of making her upset, but he needs boundaries with her. If he's afraid to speak to her to get her out of his house, that's not a healthy relationship he has with her. He's afraid to speak to her. If you find yourself afraid to speak to somebody that is supposed to be someone that cares for you, that's a red flag. That means you have something going on in your relationship with that person. There shouldn't be fear. And a lot of people are afraid of their moms, though. So, yeah, not the asshole, but... husband, yeah, maybe have a talk with your mom. She's way crossing a lot of boundaries, inviting herself into your house, overstaying. Also, she lives an hour away. That already just sounds like a nightmare that you have to deal with, that she lives an hour away from you. Consider moving. Consider a change of state, potentially. Okay. That was outrageous, I guess. Remember, this is titled the most outrageous stories on Reddit's Am I the Asshole? So, and there's 12 of them. The next one, I'm just going to get right to it. My 25 female, boyfriend, 28 male, likes to be, oh no. Oh no. Hydrate, oh no. I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna get through it, but I'm gonna be uncomfortable. I'm just gonna let you know. There's nothing in this other than aloe vera juice, but I feel like I need to take a swig and be dramatic about it. But it is just juice. Kids leave now. Obviously, I'm reading Am I the Asshole, so this isn't family-friendly safe, but okay. I'm just gonna get right to it. It's not as bad as I'm making it seem. My 25 female boyfriend, 28 male, likes to be called daddy in bed while we're being intimate. I'm gonna laugh a lot during this one. I've obliged this request, but it's starting to creep me out, and I've decided I don't want to do it anymore. He's not happy with this and insists it has nothing to do with the connotation of the word. He simply just enjoys hearing me say it. Since he wasn't budging on the issue, I told him I'd like for him to call me grandma in bed as a compromise. Do you really want him to do that, though? He didn't like this option and said it was giving him visuals he would prefer not to have. Okay, join the fucking club. Anyway, the last time he tried to initiate intimacy with me, I started to refer to myself as grandma in third person. Do you like when grandma does that? No, I don't. And he flew off the handle, said I ruined the mood, made him feel gross, and I was being ridiculous. I think I proved my point, but he thinks I'm being an asshole, so am I the asshole? I have, here's what I think. Asking him to call you grandma's out of pocket. Even as a retaliation, I think it's a little bit out of pocket. However, if he's truly not willing to budge with where your comfort zone lies in bed, and that is a complete no, he won't let you not call him that, I think you need a new partner if you don't want to be calling him that, unfortunately. Obviously, you're not going to continue a relationship with him calling you grandma. That's obviously not going to happen. But if he's seriously not willing to budge, it's not the same thing. Clearly, it's like, but If he's not willing to budge on his, then I think you need a new partner. Because you're not compatible in that aspect, then. I see her point. But, like, it just sounds like if they're not compatible in that way, if he, like, really insists on it. And he definitely doesn't want you to keep referring to yourself as grandma. Not the asshole for doing it, but... Yeah, if that was, like, a truly important thing for him for intimacy, and that is a truly uncomfortable thing for you to participate in, I think the answer is break up. Not ask him call you grandma, but probably break up. It's a silly deal breaker for him if he, like, really truly can't have an intimate relationship with you if you don't want to call him the thing he asked you to call him. That's a him problem, but maybe you're not compatible. I never want to read one that is about someone calling them anything in bed ever again. Next, am I the asshole? So I, 27 female, am getting married to my fiance, 27 male, in a little under 3 weeks. Everything has been going amazing with the planning, and I'm ecstatic for the day. My best friend, Cassie, whom I've been friends with since we were 10 years old, is my maid of honor. I have a hiccup. Okay. Oh. And a burp. She is truly one of the sweetest people I've ever met and has stuck with me through everything. She has been the biggest help in planning the whole ordeal, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. However, I've never been the biggest fan of her girlfriend, Sophie. I always show her respect and I try to include her in things, but she's a huge introvert, and sometimes it can come off as disrespect. I don't know about that one. What is it that her being an introvert makes you think is disrespectful? Is it really that bad? This isn't boding well for OP in my mind. Although I do get, I'm like half introvert, and I always am afraid that people think I'm really standoffish and like bitchy seeming because I'm just being quiet in my corner in that moment. But okay, we'll see. It comes off as disrespectful, but they always seem very happy together, so I hope she warms up to me a little in time. They've only been together for a little over a year and a half. That's a long time to say only. That's kind of a significant amount of time to say only. But several days ago, Sophie approached me asking me if I'd be okay if she proposed during my reception. You didn't need to mention that she was an introvert if this was the actual problem you had with her. Should she do that? No. Okay, there's like a whole half of the story still left. She claimed it would be a great way for Cassie and I to bond more, having our weddings linked and all of that. Not that we need any more time to bond, she's already my other half. I love Cassie to death, but I'd never allow that for anyone. I shut the idea down immediately, and Sophie got all pissy with me and left. She said something along the lines of, "I don't need your permission anyway," and walked out the door. This made me fearful that she'd attempt it anyway, so I went to Cassie. Oh, this is messy. Needless to say, Cassie was mad. I never really see her get angry, but she was livid. She apologized profusely and said that she couldn't believe Sophie would ever think of doing something like that, and that was the end of our conversation. However, 2 days ago, I got another call from Sophie, berating me for spoiling her plan to propose, and was informed that Cassie would be attending the wedding by herself and is currently not speaking to her. This isn't over, but what I will say is that if you're ever planning to propose, it isn't OP's fault for spoiling it, because Cassie was not happy that you were even thinking of doing that, and you shouldn't be proposing with someone with a certain kind of plan if you aren't 100% sure that they're going to be down for it. And Cassie clearly was not down for it, which means you're not knowing well enough what your partner would have liked out of a proposal, or even if you shouldn't really be doing that. Did she spoil it? Yeah, but you were about to do something bad. She actually saved you, because Cassie probably would not have responded well to being proposed at OP's wedding. So I think it being spoiled actually saved Sophie, if their relationship is even going to be salvageable at this point. They're not speaking. I was concerned that wasn't the entire story, so I called Cassie. She was a mess, said she was staying with her parents right now, and disinvited Sophie as her +1 because she was scared Sophie would have proposed anyway. Even after Cassie said don't? That's definitely bad. Don't do that. That's not going to go well. And they're definitely not going to say yes. Uh-oh. Public proposals are a big no-no overall. Unless you know for absolute certain, because you've spoken about it, not because in your mind you think you know for certain, but because you've spoken about it. unless you know for sure your partner will be saying yes and wants a public proposal to say yes to. Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to know that they're going to say yes because you've actually already talked about it before. People seem to think that when you propose to someone, it's a surprise, but no, you should have at that point that you're proposing spoken multiple times during your relationship, like, hey, are we spending forever together? Or like, how do you feel about that? Those are conversations that should be having before you pop the question always. You should definitely know it's going to be a yes without any doubt. And also definitely never. Public is one thing. Some people are okay with that. But never, 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 ever at somebody else's wedding. Unless everybody involved is cool with it. But clearly they're not. You ask the person whose wedding it is, and that's number one. If they say no, you don't do it. You just don't do that. So that's just end of there. So what is wrong with all y'all who are out here proposing and had never had the conversation of whether they'd be interested in spending their life with you at any point in your relationship, that they're able to say no? How did you not know yet that they would? You need to know before you ask that question. That shouldn't be the first time that you bring it up, is when it's the time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, okay. I told her to come stay with me for a while instead, and she showed up several hours later, still a complete mess. She said that she and Sophie had a huge fight, and she was reconsidering whether or not she wanted to stay in this relationship. According to Cassie, these huge fights are a common occurrence. I feel like she really misrepresented Sophie with that entire first half of the story being about how she's an introvert and comes across disrespectful. You didn't have to throw introverts all under the bus. You just could have left that bit out. I think that she meant to imply that she comes across as an introvert, but it turned out she was just disrespectful. But you could have just left that bit out, because obviously you know now she's just disrespectful. It doesn't have to do with her being an introvert. I don't know why that was even mentioned, but it's okay. You're not the asshole still. I feel awful for ruining her proposal. You shouldn't. And potentially ruining her relationship. You shouldn't. You didn't ruin it. She did. Cassie has been picking herself up in front of me and continuing to be great with the last minute to-dos, and I've caught her crying while I'm not around. I love her, but I don't want her to resent me for this. So I need to know, am I the asshole? Is there anything I can do to fix this? No, this is a Sophie problem. This is a Sophie messed up issue, and this is a Sophie did the wrong thing issue, and Sophie ruined her own relationship thing, and not you. You just are an unfortunate casualty in the shitstorm that Sophie has caused. But it is entirely Sophie's responsibility in this case for all of the things that have gone wrong. Introverts rise up. Yeah, this had nothing to do with her seemingly being an introvert. That just felt like an unnecessary detail to paint her as someone quiet. I don't think they meant it maliciously to start off by saying she's an introvert and kind of seems standoffish, so I wasn't sure about her. But then she turned out to be a psycho. No, OP is not responsible for the ending of this relationship. The fighting, which obviously she said was already happening before. If these guys are having huge fights commonly, that's your first sign to know it's 100% not you. It's like not at all you. It's definitely Sophie. Yeah. But not the asshole. Not the asshole. Yeah. God Deathlord, thank you for subscribing. Setsuki Rose, thank you for subbing. One with Sketch, thank you. Marcus Hunt, thank you for the 100 bits. I'm so sorry you're sick. Thanks for being here, though. Maybe you'll feel a little better after. I can't cure your sickness, though, fortunately. Man, I mean... Ooh, that even actually especially paints Sophie as being in the complete wrong and totally not the same page as Cassie. If they are having huge fights as common occurrences, the time to propose is not anytime soon. By the way, you need to work those out before you commit to a life together. If you're fighting all the time, I don't think that means, hey, I should be popping the question soon. I don't think that's how that should go. Probably a sign that you should be reconsidering that instead of trying to lock that down. But, you know, Rosita bringing in for a hug. The proposal was probably a last-ditch save the relationship type deal. And that is never when you should ever do that at all. How about solve the problems and make sure that there's problems that can be solved so that when you spend your lives together, you're not still just all the time having huge fights. And then you make the decision to get married. Try couples therapy and then propose if you can fix it. And if you can't, good thing you're not married, am I right? So you don't have to go through divorce. Next story. That one was pretty outrageous. I'll say that was outrageous. Of Sophie. So, after 30 years of steady progress, I'm making pretty good money. Like, I recently readjusted my 401k. Editor's note, the equivalent of a pension in the UK. Anyone in the UK here? Me, but I already knew what a 401k is. So I won't overpay into it this year, and the change in my take-home pay is more than my roommate pays in rent in my sort of low-end, ugly house in a poor neighborhood. Both of my roommates and several friends are constantly struggling. I try to help by drastically undercharging on rent. They probably pay half what is the going rent rate for the rooms in my city, and being the one who buys takeout on movie nights, which is very nice of you. It's a very nice gesture that you're offering so much extra to help out your friends who are not as financially secure. And that you're happy to do so. I pretty much downplay my income, and I will downplay my available money by pointing out the college expenses I pay for my child and the costs of filling my old junker car with gas. He's a kid. That's a big deal. Thank you, God Death Lord, for gifting a sub, and Waco Dako, thank you for subscribing. I was hanging with my friend recently, and he asked what I make. I was honest. He called me a jerk and said I was condescending to my friends by acting poor. There's two sides. I have two opinions on either side of this fence that I will be sitting on for this one probably. I haven't finished yet, though. He was actively angry that I'm faking being poor. Because I can see both sides of this one. I think it's just a misunderstanding of both sides, but I can understand what they're both seeing from the other side, I think. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to save up so I can have a warm place to go to the bathroom when I'm old. I'm going to charge rent to live in my house. It seems wrong to have people live there rent-free. Oh, is he trying to insist that you let people live there rent-free because you're making enough money? That's out of pocket. That's not allowed. You can't ask that. I just way undercharge, which you also don't need to be doing, but it's very nice of you to be doing that. I have no desire to get a fancy new car or show off with a nicer house. I do spend money on travel, but that's rare due to my job needing me, and no one sees how nice I travel. How nice are you traveling? Am I the asshole for acting poor? Is the concept of acting poor when you have a lot more money to gain sympathy? That's not good. Is that what he's doing here necessarily? No. Is that what they're seeing possibly? Maybe. That's the only side of the other argument that I can see is, in general, if you see people faking being, like, putting off the impression that they make less money than they actually do to gain something from it, that's not good, obviously. But he's downplaying it because, I guess on one hand, he doesn't want anyone to start asking for more things from him because he makes the money, because that's just wouldn't be a cool thing for a friend to do, to expect it's because you make more money that you'll pay for more things for the group, because also you have a child, and to want to save up money to have a house of your own that you don't have to rent out in the future is completely okay to do. But he's not acting poor. He's just being a good homie. Yeah, he just doesn't want to make anyone feel weird about how much more money he's making. And he's also still letting people underpay in rent. So they know he makes more than them. They don't need to know exactly how much he makes. And I don't think he's necessarily even faking being poor. He just doesn't want to tell them that he's got like all this extra money. Which isn't really anyone's business, because what do they want to know that for? Are they planning on having him pay for more things? Is that what he's afraid of? Apparently this friend seems to think that he should be letting them stay there rent-free, which is completely unacceptable to expect from someone just because they make more money. Would it be a nice thing to do? Sure, but does he have to do, and does it make him worse of a person because he doesn't do it? No. He's already letting it be completely undercharged. Not the asshole. I just understand where the concept of acting poor seems like a bad thing, and in a lot of times is a very bad thing. In this case, I don't think that it's an act, a malicious act, to seem more poor than he actually is. He's just trying to save up money and doesn't want people to know how much he's putting away for his future for him and his child. But also, why are you afraid of your friends knowing? Do you need to be hiding this from them? What kind of friends are you keeping that you need to be hiding this from them? Because they're going to start seeking things from you. have better friends that you can trust. I'm just saying, maybe as a side note, I don't think I have any friends in my circle that I would lie to about the money I make because I'm afraid of what they would think of. Although I'm not in the same situation. I don't make like an enormous amount of money more than, and I don't have roommates but I don't see why you'd ever want to lie to your friends because you think that it sounds like they want things from you because you have more money. And that means, I don't know, maybe your homies are not so cool, but I don't know. Agron, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. They're judgmental, then I don't know. How good of friends are these that you're keeping? Maybe test the waters. Be honest with all of them. Put it flat out on the table. But it's not their business either. He doesn't have to do that. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe take a look at these friends and why don't you trust them to know the truth? And then maybe call them out and say, hey, you're being a little bit judgy. And look, I don't know. That's a messy situation. You want them to keep paying rent, right? Well, not the asshole. Nevertheless, not the asshole. Not so outrageous of an am I the asshole? I've read outrageouser ones. Outrageous of what your friend was saying is that you shouldn't be charging rent because you make so much money. I don't think you're allowed to tell somebody else that. But you're allowed to decide for yourself if you made the money that he was making, you wouldn't make your friends pay rent. Yeah, good for you, though, if you want to do that. You don't get to tell somebody else that they should do that. 3 out of 10 outrageous. Yeah, it wasn't that outrageous. Let's rate how outrageous these are. The most outrageous one I'd say is the Sophie one. Just because her by herself is a psycho seeming. A psycho pretending to be an introvert, which is a scary thought. I haven't been reading the titles of these either. This one's called The Overtime Stepmother. Oh, no. Not another stepmother. No! Sophie wasn't 11. Okay, next story. My husband works around his ex's schedule as hers isn't as flexible as his, or so she says. Whenever she doesn't want the kids, wants to go out, see her boyfriend, etc., we have the kids as a favor to her, but when we ask for a favor, when I ask him to ask her to return the favor, nothing happens. Stop putting your kids off on other people because you want to go do things. Please, for the love of God, stop doing that. For the love of your kids, stop doing that. We have the kids. Also, I don't know how many. There's just multiple. There's just plural, and I don't know how many that means. 2+. Which is just significantly different than one child, but also still stop just pawning your kids off on other people. They notice that. Those kids notice that. They're like, man, mom doesn't want to spend time with me. Stop doing that. We have the kids at least 3 to 5 times a week as she's working. Last week we had them from Tuesday until this Tuesday, and she didn't tell us that the weekend was actually just a favor as she wanted to go out until he dropped them back off. So in return, I asked him to ask for this weekend for us to go away as we were both off, which up until this morning was still the plan. Over the weekend, she's invited a friend and her son over, knowing that this kid bullies their son. How many kids are there? Wait, I'm so confused. So she has a son of her own. And then they said she knows that that kid bullies their other son, but only one. So is there only one kid? There's multiple, but then there's an additional, also older boy. She invited a friend and her son over knowing that this kid bullies their son. So we asked, can we have him for the weekend? So now he's planning, there's too many him, and I have no idea which him we're talking about. Either of your 2 sons or or the husband, I can't tell. The only time too many pronouns is bad. Who are we talking about? You said him 4 times in a row. He's planning to bring him. Which one's him? And he. Over the weekend, she's invited a friend. Is that a him too? Who is that? Who's that person? And her son, knowing that that son bullies their other son, which is the shared son, Kay. So we asked if we can have him for the weekend, the younger son, so that he doesn't get bullied. So now he's planning to bring him away with us. Who's planning to bring who? I can't tell. He's planning to bring him away with us. I think she means her husband is planning to bring that son away with them because they're going somewhere this weekend and they weren't supposed to be watching the kids, but they decided to take that son so that the other ex-wife's son doesn't bully him. I think that's where we're at. I said I'd rather just us to go away on the weekend as planned, but if we can't find other arrangements for their son, I'd rather not go at all, so now he thinks I'm being an asshole. This isn't the first time it's happened. We had a night away booked, and last minute she called and dropped their daughter off, so we had to bring her with us. So there is also a daughter. At least 2 kids shared between the two. Just so you know, I spend a lot of time with the kids. You're also allowed to want to have one weekend away without any kids. I know I said don't dump your kids off on other people all the time, but when you're with them for most of the time and you want a weekend with just your partner and not the kids, that's definitely allowed. So there's a total of 3 kids. Not between the 2, though. We've heard about 3 different children, but one of them is a son of only the ex-wife. That's her son, not hers and OP's husband's. OP and ex-wife seem to only have a boy and a girl together. And then the other ex-wife has another son of her own that is a bully of their shared son. This is very confusing. I just wish we had even fake names to use so I just know who he is at any given moment in time. There's so many he's. So many people. I spend a lot of time with the kids. They are with us most of the week and take day trips on the weekends and a couple of holidays on half terms. So it's not like I refuse to bring them anywhere with us all of the time, just when it's being planned as a couple's getaway. They want a couple's getaway. That's okay. Ex-wife needs to step up a little bit as mom to these other 2 kids that she seems to want to have like a little bit of a less relationship with them. I mean, is that true? Does she want less of a relationship with them? Because if it isn't true, then I think that she needs to be a little bit more present in their lives because they're going to definitely feel like she doesn't want to be involved if she keeps putting them off on dad all the time and stepmom. Edit, no, I don't hate the kids. I can't believe anybody read that and then said, sounds like you hate the kids. Where'd you read that at? What story did you read? Because I didn't read that one. Yes, I understand he's a dad first, but she's a mom first. Okay, yeah, they both are equal. It's equal. They're both the parents. Oh, the friend's son is the bully. Okay, minor confusion. The 2 do only have 2 kids together, which I did at least get that right. But the bully was the son of the friend instead. So they pulled their own son out to not be bullied by him. By favor, I meant when she last minute decides to see her boyfriend or go out, not by doing his parent duties as he should. I understood all of this. I don't know how anyone on Reddit didn't understand these things, as she had to clarify, but okay. Not the asshole? Not the asshole. Ex-wife is trying to get away with not spending as much time parenting her children as dad and stepmom are. And dad and stepmom, who is OP, haven't had any weekends away, and they keep getting last-minute drop-offs of the kids because she's deciding to go out or deciding to stay out and keep the kids at their house for an entire week and didn't even tell them that because she just felt like being out over the weekend into the next week and not tell them and just keep the kids out of her responsibility. Not the asshole. Not really outrageous. Just messy. And also, I don't know. Stop pawning your kids off on other people. Stop doing that. Also, yeah, get a babysitter. But ex-wife needs to, maybe babysitter, but also maybe just be there a little bit more. Because the thing that she's spending her time doing is going out on the weekend and seeing her boyfriend. It isn't work, is the biggest thing. If she was just truly working the whole time and needed to be working all of this time to get by for her kids, that's an entirely different story. But that isn't the case. So, not the asshole, not that outrageous, just you're kind of shitty. you're not really a great mom right now. I just feel like those kids are gonna be like, well, why aren't we seeing mom all that often? Where's mom all the time? I don't even know how young these kids are. Probably not too young. One of them's getting bullied, which means it's not a baby, because who bullies a baby? Who, you pooped your diaper? Who does that? So old enough to be bullied, but also young enough to be bullied. You know what I mean? And people think even if it was like a 3, 4, 5-year-old, those kids notice. They definitely notice if certain parents aren't as present, aren't putting as much attention on their kids. They notice, they feel that, and it feels really bad. It doesn't feel good to feel like, hey, why is mom never spending time with us? Why is she always bringing us to dad's house? And she's always with her boyfriend, out partying on the weekends. I hope he's not bullying a baby. Could you imagine? Yeah. Not the asshole, obviously. Okay, next story. The crafty friend. I play Minecraft. I crochet as a hobby. I started doing it about 6 or 7 years ago to help cope with my anxiety. Over time, I've become pretty good at it, and I've done a few commissions for small things. I recently opened my own website where I post my patterns and tips for free. Sometimes I'll sell something on there I made, but that I wouldn't keep or give away. But in general, I don't actively sell my stuff. I have so many hiccups from chugging mango aloe vera juice. I have a friend, Lynn, who is always asking me to make her stuff. I've made her a scarf and a hat set, and I gifted her a baby blanket for her rainbow baby, all of which have been free. She asks me to make my more complicated stuff for her, like cardigans, large... I don't know how to say this one. Maybe anyone in chat can help me. Amigurumi toys? I don't know what that means. She also put in parentheses, I am not an amigurumi person. Whatever that means. And complex blankets. Part of me wants to pause because I want to know what that means. Oh no, not for free. What is that? You said it correctly? Okay. Is it a Googleable thing? Is that safe? What does that even mean? How do you spell it? I'm gonna Google it. No one can stop me. Because she clarified she's not into it, which is weird to add. Is it a gurumi? Amigurumi. Oh, they're just little toys. Oh, they're cute. She made it seem like it's weird that she had to be like, I'm not into those though. I made a couple, but I'm not into that. They're just cute little stuffed animals that are crocheted. Oh, they're adorable. Oh, I want to make one. I know how to crochet. I know how to make a square. I could figure that out. Which I always say no to because, she doesn't make them. She's asking for complicated stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. She's asking for all these complex things, but I always say no because as much as I love Lynn, she's very demanding and I do this for fun. I enjoyed giving her gifts, but I don't like feeling obliged. It takes me a while to finish complex things, and I know she wouldn't be okay with waiting more than a week. Oh, that's even more unacceptable then. What the hell? Recently, I posted a patchwork cardigan I made, and Lynn texted me asking me to make one for her. I said no because it took me a month to finish and I had other things I wanted to make. She asked if she paid for it, if I would make it for her. I told her that based on the cost of materials and an hourly wage for skilled labor, it would cost $400. In before she says something like, well, that's ridiculous. That's way overpriced because they don't want to acknowledge the time that it takes, the hours and this craftsmanship to make something to get to that level to make a cardigan, which have you ever seen a crocheted cardigan? They're amazing. They take so much skill and time to learn. People also forget when you're paying for something that is being made for you, like an art form, a piece of art, a physical, like crafted, knitted and or crocheted thing. They see if it happens to not take you very long, they think that you should pay less for it because it didn't take very long, but you don't account for the fact that that's because they're incredibly skilled. You're paying for the level of skill that they're so good at it. They can do it quickly. That doesn't mean you pay for because it only took a few, however long it took. You pay for the acknowledgement that that was a lot of skill it took to get to that level. Okay. She asked if I paid for it. I said it would cost $400. And what did she say? She said that was ridiculous. And there's no way that cardigan would be worth $400. Who called it? Joe Jem, thank you for the prime. Jaunt, thank you for the prime, for subscribing. And PT Sweet, thank you for subscribing. I told her I agree, and that's why I usually don't take commissions and would rather give away stuff I make. She told me I was being greedy. Realistically, if I took a commission for this cardigan, Realistically, if I took a commission for this cardigan, I charge like $75, 3 times the cost of materials, and give a 2-month timeline. But I wanted to deter her from asking again. Am I the asshole for quoting her such a high price? This is another one of those situations where you did do a lie to your friend, for the sake of not causing more, avoiding a bit more of conflict from your friend. But at the same time, why is she your friend? Why are you keeping that one around? If she can't be just simply told the truth and be understanding of her own friend, why are we keeping that one? What are we doing? Not the asshole, but maybe reevaluate this friendship if you can't even be honest with them and say like, hey, I don't really appreciate that you keep asking me to do all of these free things for you when they take me a lot of time. And it's really just a passionate hobby that I have. And it does kind of ruin the spark that I have for this passionate hobby that I'm just doing it for fun and I'm not doing it for money, that you keep trying to take advantage of that. I feel really used. Say any of those things. And it should be a safe environment for any of us who have any friends. It should always be a safe environment to tell the truth of how you feel to them. And if it isn't, what are we doing with this friendship? Just saying. You're not the asshole. But if you can't confidently sit Lynn down and tell her she's hurting your feelings by constantly asking for free things and is being greedy and you don't like it or appreciate it and would prefer if she didn't do it because it makes you uncomfortable, also to even have to turn her down to the point where you had to lie to her about how much it would cost to make a sweater. Also, I've seen those cardigans be sold for $400. You can do that. Yeah, why are we keeping that one is all I have to say, and you're not the asshole. It is a little bit outrageous. Not really that much, though. It's not really an over-the-top outrageous story, though. It's just another person who wants to take advantage of an artist, which we see all the time. See it all the time. Ah! I bumped you. I'm sorry. As a crochet knitter, charged by the hour. That's a particular craft that obviously it does, no matter how skilled you are, take a lot of time. If you're more skilled, it'll take less time than someone who isn't. But there's a minimum amount of time that it will always take because it just is a lengthy, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a craft. If you're making a big thing, it has to take at least so much time to complete. Even if you were the fastest, it still takes weeks. It's a really lengthy process, even if you're incredible at it. So in that case, yeah, charge by the hour. In terms of artists who do drawing, obviously you don't charge by the hour in that case because the more skilled you are at drawing, the quicker you can do really, really well made art. But you don't charge less because it took no time at all, obviously. You charge because you got to that level of skill. Obviously. Kendall, thank you for the Prime. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah. And as the artist, you get to decide on whatever price you want to. And as the consumer of art, if you don't want to pay that price that they're asking for, all you have to do is not. Just don't. You don't have to buy it. Don't be all salty because you can't afford it. Just don't buy it then. Go buy something from someone else that charges less. You want that one? Well, then you pay for it, the price that it is being asked. If you don't want it, don't complain. Just don't buy it. People get really mad when they can't have the thing that they want for the price that they think truly is fair, and they don't understand why they can't just have it the way that they want it because they believe it's truly fair that way. But just don't be like that. Next story, I, 27 female, and a friend, 24 female, have kids the same age, 2. We recently did a girls' beach trip. Ooh, I needed that one. I left my child at home with my husband for the first time, and in consequence, for the first time in 2 years, was child-free. My husband does what he can regarding our kid and does a lot, but has gone a lot for work. So I've never been apart from my kid for more than a few hours before someone says I have a husband issue. That isn't the issue here. I wasn't even going to say that, actually, because I understand that is sometimes the situation, and that is okay. My My friend brought her child, which no one in the group had a problem with at all, except my friend has a habit of letting, or rather forcing, others to watch parent her kid. Stop doing that. Why are we all doing this? Every time we hang out, she kind of checks out, goes on her phone, wanders off, or sort of dumps her kid on the friend group. Well, on this beach trip, overnight, by the way, she did just that to me. Now, remember, this is the first time in a long time I've been kid-free, or at least my kid-free. And here she is dumping her kid on me. Her kid that's when you get a babysitter. That's when. You don't use your friends as babysitters and be like, oh, well, I couldn't find anyone to watch him, so I actually just brought him. And hey, could you watch him really quick? Because I'm going to go over here. I'm not doing anything important. I'm just going to be over here away from him instead. Stop doing that. Her kid is asking me to play with them, walk with them, kid stuff. And I just want a break. But here my kid is playing on her phone. Oh, wait. Here my friend is playing on her phone, just totally checked out. I try to redirect her kid back to her saying, oh, should you ask your mom to play? To which she says, without missing a beat, no, you have more patience for kids anyway. You play with him. How about no? This is one of those times you can't say that in front of your child. That's in front of the kid who's sitting right there. You say, no, you have more patience for them. You play with him. He's sitting there. Oh, no. A 2-year-old, which even still, they notice these things. They're not completely brainless little blabbering beans. 2 is old enough to notice, like, mom doesn't want to spend time with me. You have more patience for him. My blood fucking boiled. And I explained to her that I left my kid at home because I wanted to be kid-free for the night and not babysit hers. She rolled her eyes and I just lost it and told her to stop being lazy and watch your own kid. The kid's sitting here the whole time. Doesn't matter that they're 2. They hear things. They have ears. And he's playing on an iPad. I'm not really sure what. But he's definitely also going to pick up on the tone of the room, probably. Babies even can tell if there's anger, raised voices, change in pitch and tone, things are getting heightened. They're going to notice. Of course, she was pissed, but the rest of the group had my back. But those are good friends. Get rid of the other one, though. But my friend was so angry, I can't help but feel like I'm in the wrong. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's the kind of... Oh, no. You're not the asshole. You're definitely not the asshole. This is why if you aren't ready for kids, don't have kids. She's not patient enough for her own child. What do you have that for? What'd you do that for? Why do you have one if you don't even have patience for a baby? How do you have one? And then be like, but I don't really have patience for kids. What are you doing? And they're sitting right there. Also, I need to clarify because I read it differently than how it is specifically written, and it's worse the way it's specifically written. When she said, should you ask your mom to play with you? The mom said, no, you have more patience. Kid's name. She said, you have more patience for the actual kid's name. She didn't just say you have more patience for kids. I read it because the parentheses says kid's name. It just says patience for parentheses kid's name. So I just read it as you have more patience for kids anyway. But she actually specifically said for her own literal son and used his name in front of his face to say, I don't have patience for that one specifically, the one that's mine. By name, you play with him. Which is even worse. That's even worse. Yeah. I don't really know what to say other than you're not the asshole, but that mother is, and I think you reevaluate that friendship too, probably. Is it always a bad thing when you have a group of friends that go on a trip and you decide to bring your kid because you didn't get someone to watch him? No, because that's how it started. That wasn't a problem at all. With the fact that he was brought, that was okay. No one had a problem with that. It was when you weren't doing your job as a parent and thought, hey, a bunch of free babysitters. That's not nice to do to your friends. That's not nice. This does make me think of a thing that was a fun story of a party I was at once where one of my friends had, or one of the, they had brought their child, and I ended up, because I'm really good with kids and they really like me and I am very patient with them, he took a liking to me and was telling me all about these things that he was just super into right now, and he was showing me this mobile game that he was playing on his phone. And not at the mother's fault or anything, because she would come over and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, do you want to do anything? And he was like, no, I'm showing her things. I'm showing her this game. And I was into it. I was learning a lot about it. And I ended up at this party. Sitting with this kid for like 2 hours. Just playing this mobile game with him. Because I do have that patience. But also, even the mother kept like checking in, being like, are you okay? Like, do you want me to take him away from you? Or she DM'd me, showing a picture of him explaining all the things to me. And she was like, look how cute you guys are. And I was like, I was having a good time listening. I have kids like me. That's a situation that was okay and really funny. And even H was there, and he was like, I can't believe you just sat at that party and talked to that kid for 2 hours. You have the most patience I've ever witnessed of a human being ever. And I was like, I didn't even really think it was that hard. That's the real truth here. If you think it's that hard, you need to consider whether you should be having one of those, because it shouldn't be that hard. Listen to them. It was a mobile game that had cookies. It was cookies. They had a bunch of different cookies that were like different. There were mage cookies, and there were like tank cookies and melee cookies. I don't remember what the game was. Cookie Clicker. That was it. I know so much about it now. Cookie Run? Not Cookie Clicker, because it has, it's a Cookie Run. Yeah, so everyone's freaking out about it. Cookie Run Kingdom. That's it. That's the one. It looked like fun, genuinely. Like, I couldn't even lie that he was like, do you want to watch me do, like, a battle? And I was like, yeah. Yes, I do, in fact. I don't know. Not that hard to just entertain a kid for 2 hours. Well, you asked them, what are you into right now? And he told me for 2 hours what he was into. And I just sat and was nice. So if that's too hard for you to do, I think maybe think really, really, really hard about having the kid thing. Because this woman in this story, the fact that she was able to say you have more patience for her own kid's name, she says, in front of him. What'd you do that for? Why you have that? What'd you do him? Why'd you have him? Very easily entertained. Did you tell him about Minecraft? I mean, I told him about all the games that I was into, but it was all about Cookie Run Kingdom for him. So, I was not about to derail his passion that he was very, very, very excited to talk to me about all of these cookies. And honestly, it was fun. The graphics are cool, and I found one cookie that had like a mushroom hat, and I was like, if I was gonna play this game, and I did think about it very seriously for a little while, I wanted that one. And they had different skins. I love skins. It kind of gave me Overwatch vibes, the way that they all had different skins. I'm a sucker for skins, so he almost got me sucked in, and I would have spent money on it. I'm glad I actually had at least the self-discipline to not buy the game that I do know too much about now. He said, that's cool. Cookie Run Kingdom, though. Quite literally. It was so funny. And a nice moment. And don't be the woman in this story. Be like me. Just be me. Okay, next story. The Re-Gift Shamer. My family does a gift exchange drawing each year for Christmas. We all reach into a bowl and pull out a name on a slip of paper. That is the person for whom we are to buy a gift for the big Christmas get-together. I honestly hate this ritual, as it is a bundle of stress to find something for someone you barely know, and we do it because the family always has. This is how my family does it. Not a white elephant. That's a whole different scenario. That's a whole different game. There are different rules. That is not what this is. Because a white elephant is everybody gets a gift, and then we put it in a big pile in the middle, and then we go around in however we decide the order, and pick one, and you can steal. That is not what she's describing. She's describing simply, they put everybody in the family's names in a hat, and you pull one, you buy that gift for that person, you hand it to them, that's their gift. You don't trade, you don't swap. However, my family did this for a really long time. We don't really do anything. It's a Secret Santa. It's just a Secret Santa. It's not a white elephant. But the way my family always did it is the slip that you write your name on, you write a few things that you like. a very easy way to solve that problem. Especially when you like have no idea what to get the people in your family. We usually just write like places you can get a little gift card to, little things that you like, things that are of interest to you right now that you can do. Do that instead. It is a lot less stressful than just getting a person's name and having to figure out something off of nothing. In 2019, I drew the 60-year-old husband of my great aunt. I knew he and my great aunt were very well off and really neither wanted nor needed anything. I knew also that the budget we had for gifts of $50 max was not going to get him anything within his or her taste level. Since he did a lot of driving for his work, I found him a rather expensive set of tools to keep in his car trunk should he need them. He opened them during the party, seemed appreciative, and thanked me. All right, that's not bad. That's good. This past Christmas, I saw my gift was from my great aunt. When I opened it, I immediately recognized the tool set I had given him 3 years before. All right, if you're going to do this, because I don't think there's anything wrong with regifting and giving away something you got given if you aren't interested in using it and don't have a way of returning it specifically. But you got to really never give it back to the person who gave it to you. Just have a little bit of awareness. Keep a little mental note. Who got this one for me? Don't regift it to them. Anybody else you can regift it to. Maybe not someone in the same room also as the person who got it for you, because if you regifted it to somebody else in the Secret Santa, she still was going to be there to witness that. Regift it all you want. Not to the person who gave it to you. Just, that's all you have to do is remember who gave it to you and not give that back. Give it to anybody else. Oh no. And they're rich, which is even worse, that they didn't even go and buy a new gift for this person specifically. They just gave back the gift that she gave them a year later that she definitely can't return now anymore. Or 2 years later. This past Christmas, I don't know what year this was written at all. Even the tape I had put on part of a torn label was there. I paused, broke into a big smile, and excitedly exclaimed that this was incredible as when I bought her husband a set 3 years ago. I had wanted to get a set for myself as well, but the store had told me that the set was discontinued and no longer available. I gushed that she must have gone to a lot of trouble to find one just like the one I gave him 3 years ago. Yes, I mentioned giving him a set 3 years ago many times. 3 years. I forgot that she did actually mention even before. 3 years. Okay. I then made a big show of running over, hugging her, and saying thank you. She and he just had odd smiles frozen on their faces. I get even 3 years went by, but definitely if you're going to be regifters, your only job, if you're with those people, which I don't think there's anything wrong with at all, you just can't give it back to who gave it to you. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. See, my great aunt has a reputation whispered behind her back of being incredibly cheap and regifting most of what she receives. If you're giving it to people who are indifferent, like, don't regift to the family immediately that you got it from, but, regift outside that circle of people and in other circles of people. Get something from a different circle of people and gift it to your family. They don't know who it came from. That's okay. You're rich, though, so what are you doing? Spend a little bit of that. Put it back into the economy. Stop hoarding. My mom later took me aside and chastised me for what I did, as my great aunt was visibly embarrassed, as she should be, and had left very soon after the gift exchange. She should feel bad about it, though, so good job. I just looked at her and innocently asked what I did wrong. What I did wrong? I asked what I did that was so wrong by thanking her for a gift I really wanted. So was I out of line? No, she should be embarrassed. That's rude. Also, I want to know specifically, did she know that you were the one who gave her that set? Or did she genuinely forget after 3 years and thought that she was giving away a set to somebody that had never seen one before? Because also part of me feels like she knows it was from you and gave it just immediately back to you and just shamelessly didn't care. They had 3 years to get rid of it and they gave it to the same person. That's what I'm saying. A suspicious level of coincidence that after 3 years, and she's a notorious regifter, she still had that one specifically and gave it back exactly to the person that she got it from. Suspicious, and you're the asshole. OP, not the asshole. You were not out of line. She deserved to be embarrassed because that was just not nice. If you have so much money, how come you can't spend $50 on a Secret Santa for your family. And if you don't want to, how about next time you say to the whole family, hey, I'm going to come to Christmas, but I'm not going to play in the gift exchange, so don't put my name in, and I won't be bringing a gift. Kick her out of the Secret Santa. She is no fun. She is not nice, and I don't like her. And Doris, thank you for subscribing. Hot White Beaches, thank you for the Prime. Lisa, thank you for subscribing. And Flower, thank you for the $1.50. A tour of the background. If I'm honest, this is it. Angie plushie. Happy plushie. Fairy lights, lamp with no bulb, lamp with no bulb. Minecraft squares that came from my Lacoste box that they're like a good solid plastic that I really, really like decoratively. And plant manta ray, whose name is Citizen Snips. Named after the beloved catfish at the London Aquarium, who I have now seen 2 times, months apart. And he did, in fact, remember me and swim to me and then sit with me. And if I moved, he followed me. That is my best friend. I befriended a catfish. And I will go back to see him again soon. Probably next time I'm here. I make regular visits to Citizen Snips at the London Aquarium because every time that I've ever seen him, he swam up to me and then stayed next to me. And then I moved, and then he moved toward me to be facing me and still be next to me. And he did that again the next time. So I don't know if there's any proof of fish having memories, but I'm pretty solid that he knows me and likes me specifically more than other people. Any other people. I don't want to think about all of the other people who go through the London Aquarium, and maybe he does also sit with other people that sit down next to him. If I'm honest, nobody stops in the catfish room. I sat next to him for like a half hour because nobody ever stops in that room, so I had no reason to get up because I wasn't in anyone's way. No one cared about the catfish except for me, so he adopted you. I adopted him. Shanhu, thank you for gifting 5 subs. I appreciate it. Thank you for the gifting subs. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. He was so good. And I wonder how old he is and how long he'll live for, because I want to know how many times I'll get to visit him and he'll be there. I will always and forever recognize him, and if he ever does move on, I'll know it when I'm there. If he has been replaced with a different one, I will recognize him. Okay, next story. You cannot say to me that Shelby isn't a Disney princess. Not to also continue to toot my own horn, but I do love to do it sometimes. I was at somebody's house recently, and I had never been there before, and they had a cat, and I immediately befriended the cat. And it isn't a cat that is necessarily immediately befriending of people. But within approximately 15 minutes of sitting at the end of the couch that happened to be closest to the cat, and me just kind of like giving it little noises and kisses, blown at him, I was blowing him kisses, he became my best friend, and then we played, and we wrestled, and I have a new friend cat now too. I'm really a cat person. I'm really, really, really a cat lady. And if I'm at your house and you have a cat, that's going to become my friend. I'm going to spend all of my time with that cat, and I'm going to leave there with best friends being with best friends with your cat. I just really get cats. You know what I think? Everybody's always all over the place in this world, and everybody's always on different wavelengths from each other, and there's lots of people on the same wavelengths and lots of people on different wavelengths, and I think that I'm on the wavelength of cats. And only cats. I always constantly feel like everybody else on a different wavelength from me, and I'm like, man, I don't get it sometimes. I feel like I don't get people, and I'm trying really hard to sometimes. Just not on the same wavelength of people sometimes, and I feel like I'm a little bit of a weirdo. And then cats, though. But cats, though. I vibe with them. They're good. They don't take extra effort to understand so much more than people. People are really hard to understand sometimes. Sometimes you're in different groups of people, and different groups of people interact differently, and all, because obviously all people are different. And sometimes there's like these unspoken things that you just kind of know in social situations, or you're supposed to know, and I don't. But cats, though. Cats don't have secret rules that everyone supposedly knows, and then you have to go and figure out. But cats, though. Yeah. All right, next story. The body shamed colleague. That definitely is not going to be good. That's definitely not going to be a good one. These are supposed to be outrageous. The last one wasn't like specifically particularly outrageous. In fact, it was really just like a karma one. Not really an outrageous one. But that doesn't sound good. Yeah, okay. I have a female coworker who repeatedly calls me out regarding my weight. Oh no. Oh dear God, no. Don't do that ever. I think that we need to just in general stop making comments about the shape and size of a body, because I just don't, unless it's like, nice, you got a cool one at any given moment to all of them. Like, yeah, that's cool, that's yours. Good job for having that one. That is yours. Just other than that, I think maybe just as a general rule for society, let's just stop commenting on it maybe sometimes, all the time. Everyone is aware of the size that they are. Everyone knows, so they don't need you to say anything about it. I'm female, 5'9", and 115 pounds. That's tall for being also very, very light. Super light. And she says, I'm very thin. Oh, I see. It's the other way. Okay. I was like, is she saying you're... Okay. She is very overweight. All the time she makes comments about my weight. She doesn't call me by my name. She calls me slim. Okay, that's not so bad. That's not that bad. And I even heard her one time go ask toothpick. Okay, that's just immature, I think. That's just childish. She has said stuff like, you need some meat on your bones, you need to eat. I've only worked there 8 days. I have asked her very nicely to stop. You're allowed to be uncomfortable by these things, and if you say, please stop doing that, she should very maturely and nicely say, I'm so sorry, I will stop doing that, and then never do it again. That's it. That's all that should have been as an interaction ever in your life. Yesterday, I asked her to stop calling me Slim again. I don't know why that one's funny, because I would think that's a funny nickname to have. That one wouldn't bother me to just have someone start calling me Slim, but if you just don't need to be making comments for people, the way people look ever at all, unless it's to say something nice like, hey, I like your makeup, I like what you're wearing today, but also the body specifically. Why don't we just let people live in them and not make comments about them at that moment? That you don't even know her. You don't even know her. I have to say, Slim makes me laugh because my original first email and username, even before Lil Shorty, was Slim Shorty. And I think that's why I'm having a little giggle about it, because I'd be like, that would be really funny to me to be called that, and I wouldn't be bothered. But I was an Eminem fan as a child. I think just, you don't know her, so you don't know how she'll respond to being called names that make a point to point out the size that she is. We just need to stop doing that, I think. Especially for people that you don't know. You don't know her. Yesterday I asked her to stop calling me Slim again, and she basically said it's her mouth and she can say what she wants. Oh, then I would have so many things to say in return because it's my mouth. How about that? Today when she said, morning, Slim, I replied, oh, no. Well, though, I just don't like names. I just don't like not nice names. Maybe I'm a softy, maybe I'm a little sensitive bean, I just don't like names. Morning Slim, and she said morning Chunky. And she got upset and actually started crying. And I think that that's a lesson on just maybe comments on that draw attention to and give a nickname to the size of a person at all ever is probably not a good idea. I definitely saw that not going well, though. I think we all would have seen that not going well. I see the point, though. I definitely see the point. Everybody here at work, only 6 of us total, is saying I'm wrong and I should apologize because being called fat is different than being called skinny. And that is true. It isn't the same. However, how about we both stop using names to refer to specifically giving a nickname and addressing at all times the size of the person we're referring to? How about we just stop doing it at all? Stop using names. Stop name calling. Hi, Rivkin. We're reading Am I the Assholes? I will say this one is definitely outrageous. This one's definitely one of the most outrageous of all of them. I just think that it's not nice to call people things. How is it different? I think not the name calling is different, but just we need to stop having these ideas about calling people and referencing people by their shape and size, just in general for people you don't know at all. Will society treat people who are skinny and who are not skinny the same? No, that's why being on the other end of it isn't quite always equal. However, just stop calling people names and referring to their weight, and also make assumptions about people based on their size and anything to do with that ever at all. It's just a bad all around. It's just bad all around. She should have stopped when she was asked to stop. She should have stopped when she was asked to stop. And it shouldn't have ever been more of a problem after that. She asked very nicely, can you not call me those things because I don't like that? And that's where it should have ended. It definitely should have never happened beyond that after that part. OP shouldn't have made the insensitive comment. Other person should have stopped when they were asked to. And they didn't stop. So do I blame her for firing with like a really loaded bullet on that one? Not entirely. I get the point she was making, and I think also the woman on the other end gets it too. I just think these names about these types of things need to stop. Shame. Shame on everyone involved, but I get it. Am I the asshole if I don't apologize? I think you both need to just apologize to each other and then agree to not use these names ever again. I think you both need to apologize to each other. Her hearing the word slim and being called toothpick could be really, really upsetting. And when she asked you to not do that anymore, you should not have done it anymore. And now and now we're all upset. Now everyone's upset. Ooh, okay. The next one is titled The Girlfriend Who Dared to Menstruate. And I can't wait. Hold on, I have to send a message really quick. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh boy, I can't wait for this one. Oh boy. Toothpick is too far. Slim is decent in my opinion. For you, we can't get to say which names get to slide if it's specifically, because also just a note on the other story, the size of a person on either end is not an indicator of health. So people having it be pointed out that they're skinny is not good. It isn't good. It isn't better. Neither are good. And I'm out of aloe vera, so. Now we're getting into the hard stuff. Let's keep reading. So my 24 female boyfriend, 28 male, pulls out the vodka. Could you imagine? I whip out a glass bottle of vodka. Her version of whiskey. It is. I was taking dramatic swigs of drinks while I was reading dramatic parts of stories, and I can't clarify enough that was genuinely and only juice, and this is a freshly opened Coke. It's just funny. I just think it's funny to take a big swig of a completely just juice or a soda, and then go, let's get into it. So my 24 female boyfriend, 28 male, is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're white. Oh, the furniture's white. The furniture is white. I was like, is that a thing? I'm crying. I was like, is this a stereotype about white people I didn't know about yet? Because the furniture's white. That's your fault. That's your fault for having white furniture. Oh, man. Okay. My boyfriend is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because it's the they for me that made me think she meant him. The furniture is white. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway. Wait, are you admitting that you would leak through everything? Oh, if she was to leak, the sheets wouldn't be helping. Oh my god, I can't. Put plastic on it. Be an old lady if you're gonna be someone who has white furniture. Because also, what'd you do that for? That was a mistake. So many people have white couches, and it's like, that's a ticking time bomb. An accident will happen one day. And here's the thing. I'm this person. This is me. If I am the one who spills something, stains something, I finally ended up accidentally spilling something on a thing that was white. If it was me, I won't be upset about it because I did it. It was me. But if somebody else does it, I'll be mad at them for a minute. I'm not going to actually take it out on them or anything, but you can't help but be upset at the other person because you want to believe in your head. I never would have. But if I did, I wouldn't be as upset. This is me. This is a call out for me that I get a little bit extra mad when somebody else does it because I think I wouldn't have done it. But I probably would have done it eventually. And I wouldn't be as mad if I did it because it's an accident. And then immediately I feel the same way about the person. If somebody else spilt on my white couch, I'd be a little extra mad and be like, but then I'd immediately go back to the same place of it was an accident and it's okay. It's, either get the stain out, put a little cushion there. You know what they sell is like a whole cover you could put over the entire couch and then just tuck into the cushions and the edges. You can't even tell that it has a cover over it. In fact, maybe do that instead of having a white couch. I have a brown leather couch, which has been my dream for a very long time. And I have immediate regrets about that because my cat, I truly believed I could stop her from scratching it even at all, and that didn't happen. So. And that was my fault, and I'm not even that upset about it because you know what? It's a couch, it's okay. If somebody else brought their cat into my house and they did it, I'd be like a little bit upset for a second. And then I'd be like, but it's a couch, and that's okay. But I'm just saying, for that split second, I'd be a little bit mad at somebody else for it. I'm admitting a flaw that I would get mad if someone else did it, but I wouldn't if I did it. Other people are saying they're the opposite, and that makes more sense to me too, but it's just the truth. This is just the truth. Anyway, he makes me sleep in the guest room on the first 2 days of my period. My heaviest days, naturally, as they be. And then he even asks me, when was the last time I changed my tampon? Yeah, he doesn't need to be doing that. That's too much. The sheets on everything was already too much. And she's right. If it was just a thin layer of sheet, that's going to do nothing. If it leaks through her pants, that sheet's nothing, basically. Towels, but also I think that she is old enough. 24 years old. She's had many periods at this point. Even assuming if she was a late bloomer and got it late, she's had a lot still. So, I think she's got it. I think she knows. Although even still me, I never am. Where'd the jazz go? This is not the same without the jazz. There we go. Even I'm never prepared for day one. It doesn't matter how old I am. That's a me problem as well. But yeah, don't police anyone's periods. If I knew that, I'm always aware of the days coming up. I just wouldn't be sitting on the white couch probably. But I've got it. I wouldn't be taking those risks for your couch. So you don't need to put towels under me and also ask me when I changed my tampon. I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age of 12. I didn't even need to say, hey, Scott. I actually, as you sent it, said, hold on, I need to answer a message. And then I didn't, but I read it. And that works for me. Hey, Jack, guess what? Hey, Jack. Wait, why is everyone here? Hi, Jack. Hi, Scott. Hi, Rifkin. Hey, fun story. I'm getting Scott's cat tomorrow. I've been thinking about doing a stream while I have her held hostage. And just do a stream Q&A while I have Scott's cat. I'm babysitting, so I get to have her. I get to play with her and dance her around. Hello. I'm excited. I'm gonna pet her lots. She likes me. Another cat that I've befriended in my years. I've befriended many of them. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Rifkin, I didn't see that you donated. Am I the asshole? I, 34 mil, want everyone to drop everything they're doing and come join me being a Shubble fan. Well, I just have to say, you're not the asshole. Also, thank you for subscribing. And Casey, thank you for the $1. Have you been able to start your D&D campaign since you've been in the UK? Oh, that is not a UK D&D group. That is a LA D&D group. That can only happen when me and Wilbur are in LA with Joey and Megan, sadly. So no, I haven't gotten to play Little Socks. Not little. He's a big character. I made him big. Has there been a cat that does not like you? No. No. I wouldn't take it personally if it ever happened, but it hasn't. And that's pretty cool, actually. I think it hasn't happened. Okay, so the Am I the Asshole that we're reading. Boyfriend has been policing his girlfriend's periods. He's protective over his furniture because it's white. Not he's white, but it's white. That was my bad. And I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age of 12. I don't need somebody to remind me to change my tampon, she says. When he does this, I just feel embarrassed. And it gives me the vibe that he cares more about the materialistic objects than me. I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. She's asleep. He puts her in the guest room. She's not even allowed to sleep in the same bed with him. That's insane. He acts like I'm just gushing like a waterfall. It sounds like he doesn't know anything about a period, first of all, because he does just think that does he think that it pours out like water the whole day? Does he think that's how it happens? A lot of men, not necessarily at the fault of themselves, although at some point you do need to learn about this and it becomes your job to learn about it and go out of your way to learn about it. A lot of guys don't know how this works. Someone needs to tell them, and if it gets to a point where no one has, you need to go learn about it somewhere, because you gotta just stop doing this. She can't control it. That's not even the point. Yes, she can. In the fact that she has control of when she's changing her tampons. You don't need to tell her when or check on her that she's changed it recently. She will be aware. She's not going to be leaking on everything because she is in control of the fact that she has a tampon in and is aware of when she put it in. She put it there. You don't just forget when you put that up there. It's a significant thing that you do. And you do it several times a day. I watched a video. This was really interesting. I watched a video on TikTok of girls asking guys how many tampons they think that their girlfriend might need the week of her period. All of them were wrong. Not a single one. Some of the week of the period, which also a lot of people took that to mean a full week of having your period, which also can happen, but isn't common. You shouldn't be having a full 7-day period, usually. But a lot of them, also, most of them took week to mean 5 days, and that was the funniest thing to me, because I was like, you think that it works on business days. It doesn't happen on the weekends. It's only business days, 5 days a week. And although that's even closer, because at least 5 days is more realistic of a length of a period. Could be like 3, 2, 5. Some people have longer. I'm just saying it's not common to have really, really long, full 7-day week periods. Some people do, though, and that's okay. And as long as you're talking with your doctor, you're probably fine. Okay, a lot of people are in 8-day gang. That's not me. But nobody knew how many tampons a girl uses even in a day. In fact, for the entirety of a girl's period, several men said 4 tampons for the whole time. This is for my ladies and anyone using tampons. They think we only need 4 for the whole time. I can't express how wrong that is. I can't even get into how really, really, really not accurate that number is. For the whole week. However long that yours is 4, they think you need 4. None of them seem to think that it's a varying number, that everybody, obviously different flows, different amounts of days that it goes for. Obviously there's no straight answer to this question, so is it like a little bit of a trick? Not really. 4 in a day? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know about. People need to just, and you know, is there anything to be gained by knowing this as a man sometimes? Not really, but it's just how about we know instead of not? It's more than 4 for the length of, a lot of men said 2 in a day, which is, I mean, being really, 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 like, that's the minimum amount, probably, maybe. Anyone who only needs 2 in a day, I'm jealous of you. Yeah. And hey, if you're in here and you don't know the amount that a girl needs or anything about a period, no shame. But hey, go look up a YouTube video and Google it. Ask your sisters. Ask your girlfriends with no judgment, please, from the girls who are being asked or anyone who is being asked. But go find out. Go ask. No shame. If you were a straight man or want to date someone with a period, you should probably know. That's what I'm saying. Does it benefit you? Especially, not really, but I think it's better to just know not rather than not. 1 every 6 hours. That's also being very, like, by the instructions. I don't know how that'll even work for most people. 1 for 6 hours. That's even that. I feel like 2. 1 every 2 hours. Okay. Okay. I didn't even finish the story, by the way, but obviously the person who is having the period in the story is not the asshole. I started my period yesterday, and as I expected, the sheets came out. I decided to put my foot down, and I took all of the sheets off of the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him that he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box. He's saying I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean, and that I'm the one acting like a jerk. My question for him is, have the sheets ever done anything? Let's see who's really in the wrong here. Have your sheets ever done anything? Have you ever found anything on them? Because again, if there ever was anything to leak onto those sheets, it would immediately be touching the couch. I don't know what he thinks a sheet's gonna do. I don't know what you think a sheet is made of. You can see that they're thin. What's your thread count? I think it's gonna go through to the couch if it's ever even gonna touch the sheet. But has it ever? Also, stop having white furniture. Remember when I started the story and I thought... Next story, The Sisterly Scholar. Periods are like water faucets, right? So some people seem to think that it's like a... We got into it enough, and I think enough people are even probably grossed out by it, but I don't care. We will move on, though. But yeah. At least have beige, please. Well, at the very least, I think she can know. You can let it be in her hands. To know that she's not just leaking, which you figure out. You figure that out. She's in her 20s. She's mid-20s. She's got that figured out. If she's never, ever leaked on your sheets, and that's not even the point, to be very, very clear. Even if she had, it wouldn't matter. But I would be willing to bet she's never even leaked on the sheets. Because, again, if she did, that's just literally basically touching the couch. There's nothing. It may as well be nothing. It's called bleach, I will say. I don't know if it would 100% get it out. I think just don't have a white couch. And if she needed to be wary of leaks, sheets are not the move. Get a towel. But also, she doesn't need that. But also, please, I need you to know that a sheet is basically nothing. It is the same thing as nothing. So you might as well just let her sit on the couch. Kate Mate, thank you for the Prime. Hiya B, thank you for the Prime. And Rose Phoenix, thank you for subscribing. It doesn't happen if you're careful. And I would very much trust the person having the period that she's capable of being careful. He just doesn't want her to, he doesn't want to take the risk. But then I would say, have him answer the question of how many tampons do you need in the course of a period, and if he can't answer it correctly, he doesn't allowed to have an opinion. He doesn't allowed. Advice to young men. Your lady asks you to go to the store for boxed tampons. Buy 2 boxes, chocolate, and some flowers. That is never a bad thing. If you are being sent to go buy some, buy a little extra treats on the side. And also, yeah, 1 box. Somebody said about 1 box for the course of a period. And that's also even being generous, because some people... Truly, it's about knowing your partner, because everyone's going to have a different amount that they need. And also, there are different types and sizes. And even I get overwhelmed by it, because I'm like, I don't... Is mega too much? Okay, the next story. I am 17 female and my sister, 21 female, was always a rebellious child, but never got in trouble. Our grandfather left us both funds for college in his inheritance. The only catch was to actually go to college. My sister was the party animal and she got pregnant at 18. My parents took care of everything and she still lives with us with no father in the picture. I wanted to start looking for colleges now to be better prepared, but it turns out I have no money left. I'm literally sobbing while writing this. My parents took... No. Oh, this isn't a fun one. Because this is... My parents took all of my money and gave it to my sister. Actually, you can sue them. Genuinely, truthfully, don't know how much money it is. That's illegal because it was willed to you. They can't take it. It isn't theirs to take from. So, am I saying sue your parents? I don't know. Considering they took the money you probably would have used to pay for a lawyer, and I don't, but it is illegal. You can't do that, actually. I raised this issue on Christmas, and I'm being blamed for ruining Christmas and not loving my niece or my sister. That's not what any of that means. I told them, yes, I really hate each and every one of them. Okay, I feel like an asshole for that. My parents have offered $10,000 in exchange to calm me down. But the amount was $80,000. Take the 10 and then sue them with it. Take the 10 to calm you down and then get all of the rest that is in fact yours and was illegally stolen, because you can't do that because it was in a will. But take it and don't tell them that, and don't put it in writing either. Take the 10 and then go after all of it. They're now telling me that I'm greedy. Am I really the asshole? Should I take what they are offering me right now? Because according to them, this is what they've got. Oh, I don't know. Am I really telling someone to sue their parents? I have a feeling the money is gone. Although they are offering $10,000 up front, so I would be curious where the rest of the money is currently. Do they have any more? Did they already give it and spend it? You can't do that. It doesn't matter that the sister had a baby very young. It doesn't matter that maybe they needed extra money. You don't just take it also unknowingly from the person whose money it is. You can't do that. 1, it's just not nice. You're just not being nice parents. You're not being nice people. 2, it's a crime. That is a crime. That is quite literally an illegal thing that you did. And that's illegal. And 3, take the $10,000 and then sue them for the rest. I only would say maybe don't sue them if they actually don't have that money anymore. If it's just gone. I don't know what you do, but your parents seem like not nice people. And I just would put a big wall between you and them for a while. And, it just kind of sucks if that truly is just gone, though. If it's already been spent and gone and there's no way to get it back. I don't really know. Make them pay for your school. Oh, you were planning to look at colleges. They gotta pay for it now. I don't know. Yeah, sue them. Maybe they'll make them take out the loan to for you to be able to afford to go to college. $80K. I'm not gonna lie, that wouldn't have even made a dent in college, depending on where you're going. Maybe a year. How do you spend $80K? And mind you, that's only the $80K from her. The other sister had her own $80K, which was only also meant to be spent. You only were meant to get it if you went to college, which she didn't do. She just had her own $80K that she probably also spent because they needed to then dip into the other $80K. So that first $80K also wasn't even supposed to be gotten or used. Hold on. Okay. $80K would cover most of my student debt. Honestly, that probably, I don't know how much I ended up racking up in debt from my 6-year stint in college on and off. I am at this moment in time only $2K away from being debt free, and if I'm being honest, I was holding out on not spending the last $2K because I was hoping it'd be wiped, and it will in fact not be. So I think it's time that I just pay it off and then I'm out of debt. But I was waiting. I was hoping we just all of us out here in student debt would just have it be all wiped, but that didn't happen. And my 2K won't be wiped, so I just might as well pay it now, I think. The total I paid, though, I'm not really sure what it was. I did only go to college full-time for 2 years, and then on and off a bunch taking courses for 4 more. So, and I had loans, and then we also paid. I think my loans paid for half of each semester, and then my parents paid for the other half of each semester, and then the loans are my responsibility to pay off. But I don't know what the total ended up being. I don't need to, I can always go look, but anyway. Yeah, no, not the asshole. Just ultimately not the asshole. Also, this is the most outrageous. I don't know if this beats the period one, but that's pretty outrageous. And honestly, just really sad, because it sounds like if they're truly saying that's all they've got is $10K now to give you, I don't know what you do if it's just gone now. I mean, cut off the parents, because they don't deserve to have, they don't deserve a nice relationship with you anymore if that's how they treat you. I don't know. I'm just saying. If the sister didn't go to college like it stipulated, then should the poster have gotten 160K? I don't think so. I don't know where that other 80K would have gone if the other sister chose to just not go to college. She shouldn't have just gotten that money at all, but I don't know where it goes. I honestly left his funds for college in his inheritance. The only catch was you have to actually go to college. I don't know who was supposed to be in charge of it. It sounds like just it was given to the parents to then give out according to what the grandfather wished, and they just didn't care, and they didn't do that, which is really a shame. And says a lot about the parents even more than it already did. That they just didn't follow the instructions of their own parent, whichever one that had passed, and then left money for their kids, but only specifically for college, because that obviously was very important to him. But not the asshole. Also, that is the end of the Am I the Assholes? The most outrageous Am I the Assholes? And I guess they were kind of outrageous, but I wouldn't say they were the most outrageous I've ever read. I've definitely read much more outrageous ones, I would say. I think it might have been fine if the sister used the 80K for the child and stuff. I agree. Also, apparently, if the parents just had access to the money to give out when they saw fit, I don't think that it was a bad call to take the 80K that was supposed to go to college for the one sister who had the kid to use towards her family, but then taking the other girl's 80K, absolutely not cool and out of pocket. That's gonna be a no from me. You're an asshole for doing that. You don't just get to take that without asking or mentioning, even in the first place, that she just found out she had no money for college anymore. That's horrible. That's asshole behavior. Chill chat today? Yeah, in fact, since we've been here, it took us 2 hours to go through all those. I honestly had so much fun reading those. They were very, very, very fun to read. And I think I won't be loading up Minecraft tonight. I'm sorry I've put off Minecraft for 2 days. Am I procrastinating a little bit? Maybe a little baby amount. I will be doing it tomorrow, though. This was 2 hours somehow. We laughed. We told stories. I told my own little stories in between. We had a good time. And the time flew. My question is, why did the sister need 160K? What did they need to spend immediately? That was 160K. That money's already all gone. I want receipts. In fact, if you sue them for the money that is yours, they'd probably have to provide receipts to show where that money went. Oh yeah, I might have just gone straight to the baby birth. We, remember, this was an American, most likely. And that does, it doesn't cost 160,000. Let me do a quick Google, because I do know, just on average, which isn't great, but the average cost of medical bills for giving birth, I don't think in America are 160,000. I do believe they're incredibly high, though. Like 100,000. But let me just do a Google. The average cost of giving birth in the United States, I don't believe that. I don't believe that number, actually. Oh, somebody said about 30,000. Someone spent 13,000. 160 is way too high. I've seen at most, I think, about $40,000. Something between 20 and 40 seems to be the price of, and that's zero complications, by the way, and maybe even only a one-night stay, if that. Some people will opt for more night stays, could cost more. I don't see it being 160 unless there were severe complications. And even still, the parents definitely, if they were like, we're specifically $160 in debt from your sister's birth, and we don't have the money to pay for it, and we're thinking about taking your 80,000. That never should have happened without the approval of the sister whose money it actually was, because again, it's illegal. And in that case, then you just go on a payment plan, or never forget to ask your hospitals when you have a big hospital bill for the itemized list, because sometimes just a bunch of stuff disappears because they don't want you to find out that a Band-Aid's $800. I learned that from TikTok too. So if they can offer 10K at the drop of a hat, it's not like they're super struggling either. Also, good point. Unless what they're saying is just that's what's left of that specific amount of money and they had their own money, which also is just a different problem. I don't know. Asshole. Asshole all over. But yeah, in the United States, it's very, very, very expensive to have to stay overnight at the hospital for any reason. An ambulance alone is like $1,000 to $2,000. Yes, you have to pay for those if you didn't know. I think most people know that by now who are non-American, because I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of awareness about the fact that we have to pay a lot of money to get care for certain things, including having somebody else call you an ambulance to save your life. $2,000, give me, cough up. But you know, get an Uber instead. Did not know that. Yeah. Things are expensive here. You know what also just sucks? Your regular basic healthcare plan that you specifically might be paying for. I'm talking as an individual that does pay for my own insurance, because I'm not an employee who can receive it from my job. The standard insurance that you pay for just by yourself out of pocket does not include dental or eye, because those don't count as healthcare. That's just basic and standard for people, apparently, that you're already on paying like $300 because healthcare is expensive. It doesn't even include dental or eye, because those are extras you have to add on and pay more for, because they just don't think that it is meant to be included in standard care. And I do pay for dental, but I don't pay for eye because it feels like a waste to pay for eye because you spend the money on it and you go to your eye doctor appointment, which is really scary. I don't like things being in my eye. And then nothing happens because is it common for there to be something to pop up at your regular yearly eye exam? No. Does that mean you shouldn't be doing them? No, you definitely should. But it feels like, hey, I can go without that because I have to pay extra every time. And I'm paying extra to keep going back to the eye doctor and nothing being wrong. And it's like that until there's something wrong. And then if you don't have the eye insurance, that's also another thousands of dollars to take care of whatever the problem is in your eyeball now. Anyway, I needed to get the most out of my dental insurance, though I'm pretty sure I have a cavity, so I gotta make an appointment when I go home. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I had a good time. I will go now and read all of the hugs that I have missed throughout the stream as they happened. Reminder, please don't tell me when somebody got a hug because you don't need to worry about it. If I don't read them when they happen, I read them at the very end of the stream, and that is the only other time that I can do it. Ren Space Nerd, bring it in for a hug. If I'm playing Minecraft or doing something else, I don't read hugs as they happen, but when I don't read them as they happen, I always only read them all at the very end. So that's what we're going to do now. Tia Bubble, that was from yesterday, I somehow missed. Ruby Charlie. Cherry Bomb. Vicky. Wait, is it saying yesterday because it's past midnight? No, it's not past midnight yet. Lesbian Lux. I think I got these ones, but that's okay. Techie MC. Rosita. Jacqueline Moon. BBQ aka M. Bright that was a mod love. Sorry. Brayden for a hug. Those are all the ones I missed during the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you mods as always. Thank you guys also who subbed and sent bits and donated and all of those things. I do really appreciate it. I don't ever feel bad if you can't do those things because it's okay. I appreciate that you are here. Thanks for just being a viewer. Feel free to follow. That is free. Subscribe to me on YouTube. That's also free. And thanks for hanging. I will not be live tomorrow. I do not stream on Wednesdays. But I will see you on Thursday, most likely. And I'm going to send you away. I'm going to go. I'm going to peace. But I am going to send you away to somebody. And that is going to be Dave, who's playing Minecraft. So be the absolute nicest people. Go bring your good vibes that you always, always, always have and bring here. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Have a good Wednesday tomorrow. I'm really vibing with this particular jazz. It's cheerful weekend jazz music. Specifically is what it's called. And it is a good weekend jazz, even though it's the middle of the week. Don't let Wednesdays stop you from having a weekend vibe. Put on jazz and have a weekend vibe, and I'll see you on Thursday. Goodbye, everyone.